It's Dragon Ball time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the S.H.Figuarts Great Ape Vegeta figure. Oh my god, I've been waiting on this one for a long time. You know me, I love me some giant freaking figures, especially in a line that is known for like smaller ones. And this one just hits the spot, alright? 31 centimeters advertised, we'll have a look at that. But 31 centimeters advertised, big man of ape. I don't even know. So obviously this is Vegeta in the Saiyans arc when he first turns into the Great Ape with the armor all busted up. So we got a ton of detail in it and I cannot wait any longer. So let's have a look. So how big is this monkey really? Regular ruler goes up to like 30 centimeters to the top of his eyes or whatever. So that's already 12 inches, that doesn't do it. Actually it says 31 centimeter on the box, but I think it's more like 32. Or 31 and a half if you're really going to the tippy top of the back of his hair. He is standing up completely straight right now, just for the record. So you know it's the truth. Size comparison! I usually don't do that, but I feel like in this situation it is important to get like a vibe to how your regular S.H.Figuarts are gonna look next to this guy. I got Silver Goku and like Red Vegeta and you know, if you want to be like, hey, you don't even get the right Vegeta and Goku. Guys, it's just for size comparison. Just so you get a feel to how like regular Vegeta looks like next to his giant ape form. And yeah, obviously it is not in scale. It will not be in scale because if it would be in scale, he would be like, I don't know, like 45 or whatever maybe, or 50 centimeters. But that, you really want a 50 centimeter giant ape? I probably would. But enough of the size, I know he's huge. Let's have a look at the detail, which is beautifully molded on the head sculpt. Look at the teeth. You got the red eyes with the black around it. The only problem I have with that, well, problem, is that I'm not the biggest fan of the black line around it. I wish they would have made like a gray one or, you know, a little bit something brighter. But on the flip side, the teeth look amazing. There's a little bit of a paint issue. But overall, you can also open the mouth, you got some detail in there. And he does have some pretty nice and clean teeth for a great ape. Kind of weird. Then you got a lot of molded fur in the head, which is kind of sharp also with the ears. Just a lot of stuff that went into this. Lots of plastic and it looks fan-freaking-tastic. Also the entire neck mold has the fur in it and it is, yeah, like I'm saying, don't cut yourself on it. Then you got the battle damaged armor from the fight against Goku. Looks as it should. One piece broken off on this side and on the other side you got tons of battle damage, cracks and nooks and whatnot. Now you might notice one thing and I'll just get to that. When I saw this figure I realized, damn, all this battle damage and whatnot looks fantastic, but you know what would make it look even better? Also all the wrinkles in his face? Shading. They didn't do shading again. Figures. Why? It's just like the inconsistency. Sometimes they do shading, sometimes they don't. And once again, on this figure, it would have looked absolutely fantastic. Would have elevated it that much more, but they were like, nah. Got some more of that in the back. Just again with the lines over here, the shading would have. So it's a bit bothering me, but overall, I mean, it still has a very nice mold. Also, it seems to me like they didn't do that much paint. Like I think the entire chest piece is unpainted. You have the blue, and I think the gloves also, because as you can tell, they're a bit more shiny. As over here, it's completely matte. Now. That effect does work though, because I feel like the glove should be a bit more shiny than the armor, because this is not armor, this is like I guess a more leathery material. We don't know what Vegeta's gloves are made out of, but I would think they would be a bit more shiny. Anyway, so I let them get away with that. I'm not having the biggest problem with it. As we move down to the legs, also there's tons of battle damage in his outfit. Got like the entire knee over here is ripped open, revealing the fur, and also on his butt. That's weird. I have already the tail connected because I wanted to give you the complete look. That is in a box that is kind of part of accessories, but who cares? Anyway, more in the boots, all kind of ripped up. Like, really what makes this guy stand out so much, other than his size, is the detail. They put in all the battle damage, the boots. I love how it's molded. There's some paint issues though. That's proves at least that the blue is painted, because you have left some blue spots on my boots. Thank you very much for that. That was unnecessary, but yeah, have another look at the muscle work over here. I feel like I really want to give you a good look at it, really want to give you a spin at all the stuff that's going on. And there's also, you can already look at all the mechanics that are going on inside of this figure. Like, if you have some certain looks, you can totally see into the articulation stuff, but we'll have a look at that actually right now. So I feel like one of the most challenging aspects of figures like these is the articulation, because, you know, you're Figuarts and you have your Gokus and your Vegetas and you're pretty much used to making same old body every time with some changes here and there. But then you have to make something like this and make it articulated and make it work. Spoilers, I think they did. Anyway, starting off at the head, you have neck articulation, but you can move the hand back and forth. Does tilt side to side, really just very slightly, and it does go to the back and front, and there you go with that. But then you have the neck, which moves back and forth. I feel like it has a tiny bit of side to side movement, but not really a lot, as it kind of collapses. But yeah, basically forward movement is pretty nice. Backward movement, it's a bit blocked. They could have left maybe a little bit of an angle over here. Would have gone a long way, I feel like. Now, for your shoulder blades, this is actually pretty impressive. So, first and foremost, shoulder blades are connected via a ball in the back over here. So you can rotate them around and kind of bring them in place. Very important over here, you have this entire joint for your shoulder, which you can bring forward all the way. You can look into the figure and look at all the nice stuff, but yeah, you can bring this forward. Kinda lining up the shoulder blade with that is a bit of a impossible, something like that. But yeah, I mean, this is really impressive what they did over here. So you can move that very nicely forward. And then you have this entire joint which also wiggles around. So you got some more of that up, down movement. Is very nice. And still, actually, let me go over to this one so I can just show you better how there is a big hinge over here. So you can still move that up all the way. That's actually fantastic. And then this one moves out. So with combining these two, you don't have any trouble with the articulation, and the shoulder blade, as you can tell, moves naturally with it. There's no problem there, it doesn't get stuck or anything. So that's great. You can also rotate. Actually, cannot rotate, I guess? Cannot rotate the shoulder itself, huh? But then you have a bicep swivel, so I guess that makes up for that. Then you have simple, well, no, it's a double hinge in the elbow, but because of the big muscles, I mean, you still get very good range. And you have a giant ball hinge in the hand as it disconnects. Giant ball hinge, first try, goes up and down all the way around, and again disconnects. Weird. See there, they made like an angle like that so it moves better. Why didn't they do that with the hat? Just weird. It's just some simple stuff that I feel like they kind of overlooked, but I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, I kind of like complain about it, but I don't want to make you feel like, oh, this is like a big deal. Chest area, it's a big chest, and I don't know, either it's ratcheted or it doesn't really do much. I feel like there might be something, but I've been trying to move it around for a little bit now. I can't really get much more than that. It does move side to side a little bit, and it doesn't really, like I'm saying, I'm waiting for it to go knack and then maybe get something more out of it, but it doesn't. Moving down to the legs, you got some hip movement forward, which is pretty nice, and backward. Also goes side to side just a little bit. He cannot turn as much. That's a bit of an issue. With the two, it's kind of stuck over there. So it does wiggle around, but that's about it. Then for your legs, nice and ratcheted, keeps it in place, perfect. For stability, goes out to the side, also rotation on this giant ham of a leg. Now the one problem I have with that, the butt flap. It hinders the backwards movement really a lot, and I don't, why did you make such a big butt, big monkey butt. I don't get it. So that's just another weird choice. Double hinged knees, nice and ratcheted again. The boot doesn't swivel, and the foot goes side to side. There's also some ratcheting in there, listen. Anyway, very good toe stability overall. And you got a toe hinge to round off. Well, actually, no, you got the tail on a simple ball hinge, so you can bring that up and down, rotate it around. Holy crap, that noise. But anyway, that's your giant ape articulation. Wah. So, for your accessories, as usual, big boys don't get a lot of accessories, but these ones are pretty cool. I love the Goku being squished. It looks very nice. It's also painted very nice, considering how small he is. Got still all the battle damage in the gloves. And actually, just having gloves like that, it's even more impressive how much detail is in there. It almost seems to me like it's more detailed than it was in the show, honestly. So that's props. Just not a complaint. You have a pointy finger. Same thing. Got a lot of damage on it, and it looks great. And then you got two fist hands. Regular fist hands. And you got a Yajirobe, mini Yajirobe, cutting off the tail also. It's Ponzu time! Didn't see that one coming! Oh my god, I put it in. I put in a Ponzu time, so I'm so happy about that. But anyway, it's Yajirobe. We finally get a S.H.Figuarts Yajirobe. Here he is. He's giant. Well, no. He's part of the giant Vegeta. They didn't paint his sandals, but other than that, they did paint the Ponzu though, luckily. He does have a bit of a bulge, doesn't he? Okay, anyway, enough about that. Sword is nicely painted. Rest of it is nicely painted. Looks cool. Looks like Yajirobe. I'm a fan of it. Hopefully we get a figure of him down the line. Then you got the other face where one eye is hurt and closed and has some more veins in it. So he's a little bit more angry. And then you got the cut off tail, which doesn't have any paint on top of it. I don't know. I guess they made that to make it look less brutal, but this is just weird. Could have just have some paint, some red or pink paint put over that. No? Okay. So that's that. And what's that in the back? Well, it is a giant base. But yeah, you have this claw. It has a pretty short thing, and it's like hollow plastic also. It doesn't have any weight to it, but it doesn't have to. This is pretty strong. I want to try it out actually if it does keep the great ape in place. But it seems okay. Also, you have this piece which you can connect to the side, which is actually for Yajirobe. That's why he has a hole in the back. You can put that on there and recreate the scene where he flies off, cuts off his tail, and while he's squishing the Goku. That's really... You can recreate that entire scene. You have everything you need. So, I did put him in the pose, and I cannot put him on my spinny thing because this is way too big. I have to spin him manually. What is this? The Dark Ages. But anyway, yeah, this looks amazing. The base actually does its job of keeping him in place, but you won't be doing any aerial stuff because, as I was saying, this is ratchet, but this is just way too heavy. Like, if you're wondering if just like aerial poses, no, it's just gonna go back down, but it does hold on nicely to his bum. So that works, and that does get the job done. Just saying, if you're wondering, you cannot lift all of this up. It's just way too heavy for that. Other than that, I love the display, and that's gonna bring me to the final thoughts. First and foremost, the look is amazing. The mold is absolutely fantastic. Chef's kiss, the mold is. I don't have a single complaint about the mold. Then, however, the paint job, as I mentioned, shading would have gone a long way. I'm not really bothered by the yellow and the white parts on his vest being non-painted. It doesn't really do any harm to it. Then we get to the articulation, which is actually very, very nicely engineered, except for the butt. That's really my biggest complaint. The butt flap really prohibits him from moving his legs anyway to the back, which also in terms is a bit of a trouble with stability, but then you have the base if you want to display like that. I think the base is just way too huge for my liking. I'm probably not going to use it, but that's just personal stuff. And then for your accessories, I think the accessories are pretty good. I would have liked to have a beam effect, you know, when he shoots beams out of his mouth, but Bandai doesn't really do that anymore. Maybe you got a separate beam effect part for the Great Ape. So, and finally, this figure retails at like 170 bucks or 180 depending. I got mine for around 200. So, is it worth it? I do believe it's worth it. I do really like this figure. I am obviously not bothered by the fact that it's not in scale, but you can't really make it in scale with everything else. It still has a presence, it still has very good articulation, and just an excellent mold. And the things that I complain about really would have just elevated the figure even more and would have just made it perfect. As it is, it might not be perfect, but it's still pretty darn good. So I will recommend this one if you're really into Dragon Ball. I mean, this is a must-have for your collection, and Vegeta and giant great ape fans, you will get a kick out of this. So go out and get yourselves a great Ape Vegeta. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever great Ape Vegeta wants. I wanna have a snack on this Goku.